Good evening, everybody. Keith here. I know I'm on kind of late tonight, later than normal. But I'm hoping I got people that are paying attention because I got to talk about this integrity. And so, as most of you know, when I'm talking about things, I'm talking about birth certificates and Social Security numbers and Social Security Administration and government, all the corruption. Well, that's why I want to take a little peek at integrity tonight. So I'm hoping whoever's watching, I can't tell how many are watching right now. Never really tells me the right number, but if you're watching, share this, because people need to hear this. Because everything starts out with that damn birth certificate and Social Security account and everything. And so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to see this Social Security Code again. Title 42 of the United States Code. And as we see here, it says, the public health and welfare. Oops, let's look. We're looking at the wrong one. The public health and welfare, Chapter 7, Social Security, Subchapter 28 or 18, Health Insurance for Aged and Disabled, Part E, Miscellaneous Provisions, and it says Medicare Integrity Program. Medicare Integrity Program. And this is for health insurance for aged and disabled. And you would think that this would be covering their integrity. And we can see over here in the sidebar that that's a pretty lengthy little section there. I mean, that's a small bar, and you can see it goes down quite a ways. There's a lot of information in there if you want to research it. But for now, we're going to stick with the integrity part. Because as I said, it's public health and welfare, Chapter 7, Social Security, health insurance for aged and disabled. Medicare Integrity Program. Medicare. And like I said, normally we would think this would cover their integrity, but look what I found. That was 1395 Triple D. This one here is 1396 U-6. And it's Public Health and Welfare, Chapter 7 still. But it says Subchapter 19. Not 18, and it's not for the aged and disabled, it's grants to states for medical assistance programs, and it is not Medicare, it is Medicaid Integrity Program. So that right there is telling us Medicare is health insurance for the aged and disabled, and Medicaid is the grants to the states for medical assistance programs. So Medicaid is the grant from the federal government for the state to provide Medicare. That's how that is set up. And again, like I said, we were talking about integrity, and we thought we would find everything that we needed to on integrity in this section. But we found another section with integrity in regards to grants. But look here. I found another one on integrity, and it's called financial integrity. So we're not talking about Medicare or Medicaid now. We're now talking about financial integrity. And as before we saw, it was Health and Human Services, or Health and Welfare, under Title 7, or Chapter 7, Here we have the Public Health and Welfare, Chapter 157, Quality, Affordable Health Care for All Americans. Anybody know where that definition is? I don't know that they have a definition for Americans, yet they use it here. Quality, affordable health care for all Americans. Available coverage choices for all Americans. Okay? Now remember, not once do they mention Social Security in here, but we have to remember Title 42 is the Social Security Act. That is the Social Security title. So that means we're dealing in securities, folks. Title 17 of the U.S. Code, Commodity and Securities Exchanges. Securities and Exchange Commission, standard instructions for filing forms under Securities Act of 1933. That Social Security application is a security form. Under the Securities Exchange Act. Remember, we just spoke about the word American. I doubt you're going to find American in their sources. But this particular thing says source and amount of funds or other consideration. Source and amount of funds or other consideration. And this section is going to have source of funds, state the specific amounts and stuff. But we're going to go down here. I'm going to see if I can find it. It may not be in this one. I think it's in this other one. Yeah, it's in the other one. So let's skip to that other one now. But this is source and amount of funds or other consideration. The source of the funds comes from where? As I spoke of earlier in a couple other videos today, what is the source of the funds? Now this here is 17 CFR 230.405, definitions of terms. And again, we're talking commodities and securities exchange. General Rules and Regulations, Securities Act of 1933. So we're going straight to the act that they're talking about with the forms. Affiliate, amount. The term amount, when used in regard to securities, means the principal amount. Do they ever use the principal amount? Or do they use the Federal Reserve dollar amount? They use the partial value amount in doing all of this assessing. Every last bit of it. If relating to evidences of indebtedness. Means the principal amount if relating to evidences of indebtedness. That certificate of live birth is an evidence of indebtedness that can be securitized. Associate. The term associate, when used to indicate relationship with any person, means 1, a corporation or organization other than the registrant, mom or dad, whoever registered, or a majority-owned subsidiary of the resident, of the registrant, of which such person is an officer or partner, or is directly or indirectly the beneficial owner of 10% or more of any class of equity securities. Equity securities. Right there is their liability. In admiralty, because they use the term equity. They must stand in a court of equity. And when doing so, the record must reflect incorrectness. If there are mistakes, then that which has been taken wrongfully must be righted. Any trust or other estate in which such person has a substantial beneficial interest. Any trust or other estate in which such person has a substantial beneficial interest. Again, if you go back to my videos earlier today, you'll see where I talked about the Social Security application, and when you sign it and you fill out that next box after you signed it, they still want you to fill out a box. That is inherently wrong, but there's not much you can do about it except when you fill out that box to mark other and put beneficial entitlement holder or payor or something to that effect, letting them know your superior capacity in their trust, or as to which such person serves as trustee, or in a similar capacity. Being the one that is authorized to sign, we are in a similar capacity as authorized representative of their trust, and under UCC 3-412 Part B, Subpart 2, it talks about that authorized signature being not liable by the authorized representative for the person named in the instrument. So whatever that person that is named in the instrument, even if you're signing for it, you are not liable, and they clarify this. Yet they still hold us liable in these damn courts. We're going to skip this one. We're going to skip this one. Certified. Certified. The term certified, when used in regard to financial statements. The hospital statement of live birth is said financial statement where it is converted from a document and certified by the county registrar, the keeper of the record. He is the one that certified a statement by somebody else, and by his certifying it, monetized it for the financial use. Means examined and reported upon with an opinion expressed by an independent public or certified public accountant. The county registrar is that public accountant, and he is a public or certified public accountant whose opinion is expressed by the certification for use financially because he abstracted information from that statement and put it in a different form. He put it in a different form. Okay, that wasn't the one. Let's see here. I gotta find it. It's in one of these. Okay, not that one. Bear with me, folks. Probably going to be the first one I had. Not in that one. Of course, I may have skipped over it. There's a bunch others in these securities exchange ones. Yeah, it's got to be in one of these other ones. Let me look here. But before we go any further, let me just show you what I'm talking about. In this, within the codes here, they use this word, pro forma. So we're going to look that up, and the first thing that comes up is from Wikipedia, but we're going to go to the Investopedia one. Get off of there. And it says, pro forma, a Latin term. That's not common usage, folks. They're using language that is not common usage within the code, which they are not supposed to be doing, for the sake of form, or as a matter of form. A matter. This is where they get subject matter. And it refers to a method of calculating financial results using certain projections or presumptions. Their forms are always about presumptions, folks. Always. And as we look at the source and amount of funds or other consideration, this is at 229.1007. We're going to hit previous. And we come across 1006. It says the purposes of the transactions and plans or proposals. These are just plans or proposals. They are not orders. Past contacts. Mom and dad, when you go to the hospital and have a birth, they are using the past contact through your Social Security account to establish the transactions, negotiations, and agreements to provide you with a Social Security account for the baby. Enforcement. Uh-oh, look what happened. Now all of a sudden it drops out of that system. So we have to go back up here. And this is what they do to confuse you in your research. So we're at 1005. Terms of the transaction. Material terms. Tender offers. What is tender offers? If you guys know your language, you'll see that this is Babel. You will see that this is Babel. Tender means offer. Offer offers. Is that Babel or what, folks? In the case of a tender offer, my computer is getting so slow at loading up. Way too much information again. Okay. Tender, an offer of money. Tender is an offer. So when we see a tender offer, we know they're babbling. They are offering offer. In the case of a offer, the information must conclude. You guys get this? Why would you listen to their babble? Who made the offer? Why? Why are they making an offer? That's why you tender payment. You offer payment. You don't offer offers. That's babbling. This is proof that these people are babbling, and I can prove it. I just showed you. They're babbling. Proffer, an offer, or proffer, an offer or endeavor to proceed in an action. Proffer and tender mean the exact same thing. It means an offer. Know your words, people. They're babbling here. Identity and background of filing person. Name and address. Oh, guess what? They're asking for a federal name and address. So the person that's filing, if they don't know the difference right there, they're already screwed. State the name, business address, and business telephone number of each filing person. Business and background of entities. This is all information we need to know when we go to these hospitals, because that's what they're doing. They're creating a security instrument. And people are giving them the wrong information. Material. The term material, when used to qualify a requirement for furnishing of information as to any subject, limits the information required to those matters as to which an average prudent investor ought reasonably be informed before buying or selling any security of the particular company. Period. That security is created at the hospital. How come they're not informing us so that we can be average, prudent investors? Because they don't want us to know we are the investor. They don't want us to, or we are the funding. We are the funding for their investments. Sorry, I misstated that. They don't want us to know that we are providing the funds for everything that they invest in. Everything. They can't get it without us. This is all stuff. Tender offer. Again, identify the tender offer and the class of securities to which the offer relates. Relates. What it's relative to. It's relative to mom and dad, not the information on the paper, and which may be based on the offerer's Schedule TO. Definition of Schedule TO. Schedule TO is a filing with the Securities and Exchange Commission required of a party that makes a tender offer under the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 that would result in more than 5% ownership of a class of the company's security. The tender offer statement is governed by Section 14D1 or 13E1 of the Exchange Act. Required of a party that makes a tender offer. They make the tender offer, and it's required of them if they make the tender offer if they get information. And then they have to, if they tender the offer and the offer is rejected and they don't get the information, how can anybody be required to do anything? This is the idiocy of what's going on, people. Realize what they're doing here. Tender offer. Offer. That's just babble. So I hope that helps you guys out. Title 42 of the United States Code, Section 1395 Triple D. Medicare Integrity Program. Title 42 of the United States Code 1396 U-6 Medicaid Integrity Program. And Title 42 of the United States Code Section 18033 Financial Integrity. And respectively, the first code, 1395 Triple D, is Medicare Integrity, which is for aged and disabled. Title 42, Section 1396 U-6 is for grants to the states for Medicaid programs. And then the 18033 is for Americans. Distinctly different. So comprehend, they have a Medicaid program, integrity set up for it, wherein the states get grants for the Medicaid programs that are then able to give out funds for the Medicare people that are under the aged and disabled programs. And it all comes from federal funding that comes from the funding of Americans. The actual collateral assets of the Americans is what's funding all of this. This is why they have asset for seizures, property seizures when they pull you over alongside the road. One of the main reasons is because they're considering it's their funds anyway. We have to start correcting this by correcting ourselves and how we comprehend this stuff. Like I just showed you, they're Title 17 of the securities. Let me see if I can find this. I'll do that some other day. I don't want to waste any more time on this. Because I really wanted to find that pro forma thing that they used in the Title 17. That, along with the tender offer, shows that they're not using common language. Therefore, you can destroy the securities laws which destroys the Social Security program, which destroys the funding, which destroys their commercial title, and commerce being synonymous with traffic, transportation, and trade, destroys their functions of public office for using transportation by needing a motor vehicle operator's lease agreement for the conduct of trade or business. I don't understand it myself. That judge in my last case looked at me and said, "Do you understand English?" And I stood there with this vehement look on my face and said, "Yes." I don't understand none of it. Nope. Sorry, I made a mistake. I answered that wrong. Because today, the more I study this, and the more I research it, and the more I learn, the more I acknowledge, and the more I express, and the more I use it, the more I practice it, the more it becomes a habit, and the more I see it as soon as I see it. I don't have to look. It's there. And, well, that's just fucking stupid. Tender offer. Who's going to offer? That sounds like that sounds like wimpy. Gladly pay you two hamburgers Tuesday for a hamburger today. It's just stupid. It's ignorance. It's idiocy. You're giving up everything you already have for a fictional system that's taking everything you might possibly get. So think about this stuff, folks. I'm out. Like I said, this is later than I normally do them. But like always, I appreciate everybody paying attention. Please share all of this. I'm going to post my other forum links. I am on MeWe now, so that link will be in there. My PayPal link will be there. Please hit that share button and send me some love. I could use it, most certainly. But like I said, that's not required. I'm going to do this regardless. Share everything in the different forums, the comments, the posts, the videos. Share them. I post it for a reason. I've done my research and I put it in the public domain. Because I generally get it from the public domain. These videos I do here, as you can see, I'm getting it from public domain. You want to get your fact checkers on me? They better be qualified, because if they're making a misrepresentation, that's not a matter of interference with commerce. That's a matter of international patent laws. Get it right. Y'all ought to see my notice to the Facebook in regards to their change of terms policy, or change of policy and terms in regards to removing my content. The fuck you will. Anyway, sorry about that last one. I try not to use that kind of language, but hey. Anyway, like I said, I'll post those forums and the links. Hit that PayPal button. And remember, folks, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. God bless you. Love you. Have a great night.